The ultimatum that changed everything. The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber slid open with a sound like thunder. Ambassador Elena Vasquez walked into the circular room, her boots clicking against the polished floor. The chamber was designed to intimidate, with its soaring ceiling and walls covered in symbols from 1,000 alien worlds. 12 seats arranged in a perfect circle, each one occupied by a representative from the most powerful species in the galaxy. Elena kept her face calm, but her heart was racing. She had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council for 5 years, and she had never seen them all gathered like this. The Zephyrians with their crystalline bodies that caught the light like living diamonds. The Morvic with their tentacles and multiple eyes. The Kelani who looked almost human except for their silver skin and pointed ears. All of them were staring at her with expressions that ranged from curiosity to outright hostility. At the center of the circle sat Council Prime Zaxtul, the Zephyrian leader who had ruled the galaxy for over 2 centuries. His crystalline form pulsed with inner light, and when he spoke, his voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. Ambassador Vasquez, Zaxtul said, his tone formal and cold. Your species has been under observation for quite some time. We have reached a decision regarding humanity's place in our galaxy. Elena straightened her shoulders. She had been expecting this moment for months. Reports from human colonies had been troubling. Ships going missing, trade routes being blocked, military buildups near human space. The Council had been planning something, and now she was about to find out what. We are listening, Council Prime, Elena replied, keeping her voice steady. Zaxthul's light pulsed brighter. Humanity has expanded too rapidly. Your species builds weapons where others build schools. You fortify worlds where others create art. You prepare for war where others seek peace. This cannot continue. Elena wanted to argue, but she knew it would be pointless. The Council had made up their minds long ago. What does the Council require? Complete disarmament, Zaxtul announced. All human military vessels will be surrendered to Council forces. All weapons manufacturing will cease. All fortified worlds will be placed under Council supervision. Humanity will be relocated to designated peaceful worlds where you can be properly guided. The words hit Elena like a physical blow. They weren't just demanding surrender. They were demanding the end of human independence. And if we refuse, then you will be pacified, Zaxtul said simply. A Council fleet is already moving toward your home system. You have 48 hours to accept our terms. Elena felt her legs go. Weak, but she forced herself to remain standing. I will relay your message to Earth Command. See that you do, Zaxtul replied. This is not a negotiation, Ambassador. This is a final warning. The chamber fell silent except for the soft humming of the alien technology that kept the massive station running. Elena turned and walked toward the exit, her mind racing. The Council was serious. They really intended to destroy humanity if Earth refused to surrender. Meanwhile, in the outer edge of the solar system, Captain Marcus Chun stood on the bridge of the S. Prometheus. The ship was humanity's newest and most advanced vessel, but even it seemed small compared to the vastness of space around him. Marcus was a tall man with graying hair and eyes that had seen too much combat. He had been expecting this day for 20 years, ever since Earth first made contact with the Galactic Council. Captain, called Lieutenant Sarah Wong from the communications station. We're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. Marcus nodded. Put it through. The main screen flickered to life, showing Admiral Rebecca Torres. Her face was grim, and Marcus could see the weight of command in her tired eyes. Marcus, we just received word from Ambassador Vasquez. The Council has issued an ultimatum. Complete surrender in 48 hours, or they'll destroy us. Marcus felt his jaw tighten. How many ships are we facing? Intelligence estimates over 500 vessels. Torres replied, They're calling it a peacekeeping force, but it's really an invasion fleet. What are our orders, Admiral? Torres was quiet for a moment. Report to Earth immediately. We're implementing Protocol 7. Marcus's eyes widened. Protocol 7 was the most classified operation in human military history. Most officers didn't even know it existed. Understood, Admiral. The Prometheus is en route. As the transmission ended, Marcus turned to his crew. They were all looking at him with a mixture of fear and determination. These were good people, trained soldiers who had volunteered to defend humanity. They deserved to know what they were facing. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus began, his voice carrying across the bridge. The Council has just demanded our surrender. They want us to give up our ships, our weapons, and our freedom. They want us to become slaves in our own galaxy. Asterisk, the crew exchanged glances. They had all known this day might come. Ever since humanity had reached for the stars, they had been preparing for the possibility that someone might try to stop them. But what they don't know, Marcus continued, is that humanity has been preparing for this moment since the day we first met them. We're not the primitive species they think we are. We're not going to kneel. 6 hours later, the Prometheus docked at Luna Station, humanity's primary military command center. The station was hidden inside a hollowed-out asteroid, invisible to casual observation. Marcus made his way through the corridors, past soldiers and technicians who were working with an urgency he had never seen before. He found Dr. Sarah Kim in Laboratory Complex 7, surrounded by holographic displays and technical readouts. Sarah was a brilliant scientist who had been working on classified projects for the past decade. She looked up as Marcus entered, her dark eyes bright with excitement. Marcus, perfect timing, Sarah said, gesturing to the displays around her. I need to show you something that's going to change everything. Marcus looked at the holographic models floating in the air around them. They showed ships, weapons, and technology that he had never seen before. What is all this? Project Blackout, Sarah explained. For the past 20 years, while the Council thought we were building a simple defense fleet, we've actually been developing technology that makes their weapons look like stone axes. She activated a control, and the holograms changed to show a comparison between human and alien technology. Look at this. Their energy shields are designed to stop kinetic projectiles and basic energy weapons. But our quantum destabilizers can phase right through them. Marcus studied the displays. How is this possible? The Council has been exploring space for thousands of years. Sarah smiled. Because they've been comfortable for thousands of years. They stopped innovating. They stopped pushing boundaries. But humans? We've been fighting for survival since we crawled out of the caves. We never stopped improving. She activated another hologram, showing the solar system. Red dots appeared throughout the asteroid belt and outer planets. Every mining station, every research facility, every communications relay in human space has been designed with secondary military capabilities. The Council thinks we have 200 ships. We actually have over 2,000. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. The Council has no idea what's waiting for them. None whatsoever, Sarah confirmed. They think they're about to crush a primitive species. Instead, they're about to discover why humans never give up. At that moment, Commander Alex Rivera entered the laboratory. Alex was the head of human intelligence operations, a quiet man who seemed to know everyone's secrets. He had been coordinating the shadow network of human operatives throughout the galaxy. The Council fleet is on schedule, Alex reported. They'll reach Earth in 36 hours. But we have agents embedded in their communication networks. We know their battle plans, their formation patterns, even their individual ship weaknesses. Asterisk Marcus looked between Sarah and Alex. Are you telling me we've been planning this for 20 years? Not planning, Alex corrected. Preparing. We always hoped it wouldn't come to this. But if someone was going to try to destroy humanity, we wanted to be ready. Sarah activated another display, showing Earth itself. Every major city has underground bunkers capable of surviving orbital bombardment. Every human colony has hidden weapon emplacements. Every cargo ship has been designed to convert into a fighting vessel within hours. Marcus shook his head in amazement. How many people know about this? Everyone who needed to know, Alex replied. Thousands of scientists, engineers, soldiers, and civilians have been working on this project. All of them believed in one simple idea. Humanity will never surrender. The three of them stood in the laboratory, surrounded by the tools of war that humanity had been building in secret. Outside, the Council fleet was approaching, confident in their overwhelming superiority. They had no idea that they were sailing into the most carefully prepared trap in galactic history. So what happens now? Marcus asked. Sarah looked at the displays showing Earth's defensive preparations. Now we show the Council what happens when you threaten a species that has spent its entire existence refusing to give up. We show them why humans have a saying, the harder you push us, the harder we push back. Alex activated his communicator. All units, this is Control. Operation Stormbreaker is authorized. I repeat, Operation Stormbreaker is authorized. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. Across the solar system, the message was received by thousands of human operatives. Mining stations began revealing hidden weapon systems. Research facilities activated defensive platforms. Cargo ships started their conversion to military vessels. The Council thought they were about to face a weak and frightened species. Instead, they were about to discover that humanity had been preparing for this war since the day they first looked up at the stars. The countdown had begun. In less than 36 hours, the galaxy would learn what happened when you told humanity to. Kneel. The Council wanted to see Earth surrender. Instead, they were about to witness the birth of a new galactic power that would never bow to anyone. When humanity unleashed hell upon the stars, the Council fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system like a swarm of metallic locusts. 500 ships of various sizes and configurations, all bearing the crystalline markings of the Galactic Council. At the center of the formation, the massive flagship Eternal Judgment pulsed with the same inner light as its commander, Council Prime Zaxthal. On the bridge of the flagship, Zaxthal studied the tactical displays with satisfaction. His scouts had reported exactly what he expected. A small collection of human vessels gathered near their homeworld, clearly outmatched and preparing for a hopeless last stand. The primitive species had gathered barely 200 ships, most of them converted civilian vessels with basic armaments. How long until we reach their home world? Zaxthal asked his navigation officer. 12 hours at current speed. Council Prime, the Kalani officer replied. Should we maintain formation? Yes, Zaxthal decided. Let them see our full strength. Let them understand the futility of resistance. What the Council Prime didn't know was that every sensor reading, every communication intercept, and every piece of intelligence his fleet was receiving had been carefully crafted by Commander Alex Rivera's Cyber Warfare Division. The 200 human ships they were detecting were actually decoys and civilian vessels, while the real Earth defense fleet remained hidden throughout the solar system. Captain Marcus Chun stood on the bridge of the SS Prometheus, watching the alien fleet approach on his tactical display. His ship was positioned in the asteroid belt, completely invisible to Council sensors, thanks to Dr. Sarah Kim's breakthrough stealth technology. Around him, dozens of other human vessels waited in similar concealment. Captain, reported Lieutenant Sarah Wong, we're receiving the signal from Earth Command. The Council has taken the bait. Marcus nodded grimly. The hardest part of their plan had been making the Council believe Earth was weak and unprepared. For months, human agents had been feeding false intelligence to alien networks, painting a picture of a divided, primitive species with limited military capabilities. All ships, this is Prometheus Actual, Marcus announced over the encrypted communication channel. A Council fleet is exactly where we want them. Maintain positions and await the signal. On Earth, President Maria Santos stood in the secure command bunker beneath the Swiss Alps. The room was filled with holographic displays showing the positions of every ship in the solar system. Beside her, Admiral Rebecca Torres coordinated the most complex military operation in human history. Madam President, Torres reported, all units are in position. The Council fleet is moving into the kill zone. President Santos took a deep breath. In a few hours, she would either be addressing a free humanity or presiding over the species' final defeat. Admiral, you are authorized to begin the operation. Torres activated the global communication system. All units, all forces, this is Earth Command. Operation Stormbreaker is now active. Show them what humanity is made of. The first phase of the plan began in the asteroid belt. What the Council had assumed were simple mining operations suddenly revealed their true nature. Asteroid. Mining Station Delta 7 split open like a flower, revealing a massive weapons platform bristling with quantum torpedo launchers. Station Commander Lisa Park had been waiting for this moment for 5 years. All weapons are charged and ready, she announced to her crew. Target the Council's heavy cruiser squadron. Let's give them a proper Earth welcome. The quantum torpedoes streaked across space, their exotic energy signatures invisible to Council sensors until impact. The lead Council cruiser, the Righteous Fury, never knew what hit it. Its advanced energy shields, designed to stop conventional weapons, were completely useless against humanity's quantum destabilizers. The torpedo phased right through the shield matrix and detonated inside the ship's power core. The explosion lit up space like a newborn star. The massive alien vessel broke apart in seconds, its debris field spreading across several kilometers. The Council fleet suddenly found themselves under attack from weapons they couldn't detect or defend against. Impossible. Zaxthel roared as his tactical display showed the destruction of one of his most powerful ships. Where did that attack come from? His sensor officers frantically scanned the asteroid belt, but their equipment couldn't penetrate. The advanced stealth technology Dr. Sarakim had developed. The humans were using principles of quantum mechanics that the Council had never encountered. Sir, reported his intelligence officer, we're detecting massive energy signatures throughout the asteroid belt. There are weapons platforms everywhere. Zaxthel's crystalline form pulsed with anger. That's impossible. Our intelligence reports showed only basic mining operations. Asterisk, what he didn't know was that Commander Alex, Rivera's cyber warfare teams had been manipulating Council intelligence for months. Every report, every surveillance image, every piece of data had been carefully crafted to show the Council exactly what humanity wanted them to see. The second phase of the attack began when the human fleet emerged from stealth. Captain Marcus. Chun's Prometheus dropped its concealment field and appeared directly behind the Council formation. Around him, hundreds of other human vessels did the same. All ships, weapons free, Marcus announced. Target their command vessels first. The S-War Spike, commanded by Captain Jennifer Liu, opened fire with humanity's newest weapon, gravitational lance cannons. The exotic energy beams didn't just damage enemy ships, they literally warped space around the target, crushing alien vessels like tin cans. Captain Liu watched with satisfaction as the Council destroyer pacifier crumpled in on itself. This is for every human colony you've threatened, she said quietly. the Council fleet found itself surrounded by enemies they couldn't see coming. Human ships appeared from stealth positions throughout the solar system, each one armed with weapons that seemed to violate the laws of physics. The aliens' numerical advantage meant nothing when they couldn't defend against attacks that phased through their shields or warped space itself. Asterisk. Dr. Sarah Kim monitored the battle from her laboratory on Luna Station. Her quantum destabilizers were performing even better than expected, and the gravitational weapons were causing panic throughout the alien fleet. But the most devastating attack was yet to come. Activate the digital warfare protocols, she ordered her team. Let's show them what happens when you attack a species that invented the computer. Commander Alex Rivera's Cyber Warfare Division had been planning this moment for years. They had identified every weakness in Council technology, every vulnerability in their computer systems. Now, they unleashed the most sophisticated computer, virus in galactic history. The virus spread through the Council fleet's communication networks like wildfire. Within minutes, alien ships were receiving contradictory orders. Their navigation systems were failing, and their weapons were refusing to fire. The carefully coordinated fleet formation dissolved into chaos as individual. Ships lost contact with their command structure. Sir, the communications officer on the Eternal Judgment reported in panic. We're losing contact with the entire fleet. Something is interfering with our systems. Zack Still watched in horror as his mighty armada fell apart around him. Ships were colliding with each other as their navigation systems failed. Others were firing on their own allies as the virus corrupted their targeting computers. The humans hadn't just outgunned his fleet, they had turned the Council's own technology against them. Asterisk, asterisk. How is this possible? He demanded. Our systems are quantum encrypted. What he didn't know was that humanity had been studying Council technology for decades. Every trade agreement, every diplomatic exchange, every piece of alien equipment that passed through human space had been secretly analyzed and reverse engineered. The Council's impregnable computer systems were an open book to human programmers. The third phase of the attack was the most devastating. Hidden throughout the outer solar system, massive weapons platforms that had been disguised as deep space. Research stations suddenly activated. These weren't just weapons. They were planet killers, designed to destroy entire worlds if necessary. Platform Commander David Chun, no relation to Captain Marcus Chun, had been maintaining the fiction that Station Omega was studying comets. In reality, it was humanity's most powerful weapon, a stellar manipulation device that could destabilize stars themselves. All systems are online, David reported to Earth Command. We have firing solutions on their entire fleet. The weapon fired, sending a beam of exotic energy that didn't target the Council ships directly. Instead, it briefly destabilized the local star, causing a controlled solar flare that washed over the alien fleet. The Council ship's energy shields, overloaded by the stellar radiation, failed completely. Now, Captain Marcus Chun ordered, all ships full assault? The human fleet descended on the defenseless Council vessels like wolves on sheep. Quantum torpedoes and gravitational lances tore through alien hulls without resistance. The mighty Council armada, which had seemed invincible just hours before, was being systematically destroyed by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Zaxthal stood on his bridge, watching his fleet die around him. Half his ships were already destroyed, and the rest were in full retreat. The humans weren't just winning. They were demonstrating technological superiority that the Council had never imagined possible. Council Prime, his tactical officer reported, we're receiving a transmission from the human fleet. Put it through, Zaxthil ordered. Captain Marcus Chun's face appeared on the screen. Behind him, the bridge of the Prometheus hummed with activity as his crew coordinated the ongoing battle. Council Prime Zaxthul, Marcus said, his voice calm but stern. You came here to force humanity to kneel. Instead, you've discovered that we prefer to stand and fight. Your fleet is defeated. Your invasion has failed. Now you have a choice. Zaxthul's crystalline form pulsed with rage and humiliation. What? Choice? Surrender, Marcus replied simply. Order your remaining ships to stand down, and we'll allow you to return to Council space. But know this, if you ever threaten humanity again, we won't be so merciful. The Council Prime looked around. His bridge. His officers were staring at him with a mixture of fear and defeat. The mighty Galactic Council, rulers of the galaxy for millennia, had been humbled by a species that had barely learned to travel between stars. I accept your terms, Zaxthul said, the words tasting like poison in his mouth. Good, Marcus replied. And Council Prime? When you report back to your superiors, make sure they understand something. Humanity doesn't want to conquer the galaxy. We just want to be left alone to explore it in peace. But if anyone threatens our freedom again, they'll discover that we've been preparing for much more than just this battle. The transmission ended, leaving Zaxthul alone with his thoughts. The human captain was right. They had been preparing for more than just this battle. They had been preparing for war with an entire galaxy if necessary. As the surviving Council ships limped away from the solar system, humanity celebrated its first victory as a galactic power. But on Earth, President, Santos and Admiral Torres were already planning for the future. The Council would return eventually, and when they did, humanity would be ready. Dr. Sarakim was already developing new weapons, more advanced than anything they had used in the battle. Commander Alex Rivera was expanding his intelligence network throughout the galaxy. Captain Marcus Chun was training new officers to command the ships that would defend human space. The galaxy had demanded humanity's surrender. Instead, they had witnessed the birth of a new power that would never kneel to anyone. A council had come to Earth, expecting to find a weak and frightened species. Instead, they had discovered that humanity had been armed to the teeth and ready for war since the day they first looked up at the stars. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same.